Hello everyone, this is Minal Rade. Welcome to this video of Basic Electrical Engineering, Unit number 5, DC Circuits. In this video, we will discuss about what are the basics of DC circuits, then how it can be classified, and what are the different terminologies of the DC circuits. Before that, the learning outcome of this session are: at the end of this session, learner will be able to classify different types of electrical networks or circuits, and secondly, learners will be able to understand different terminologies of electrical network. So let us start. So what is the DC circuit? The electrical circuit which is supplied by direct current is called as DC circuit. In another way, electrical circuit is a conducting closed path provided for the flow of current. Also, circuits is the interconnection of various active and passive components in a prescribed manner to form a closed path. We will discuss these active and passive components in detail. The terms circuit and networks are similar. That means you can use circuits or networks synonymously. Analysis of electrical circuit means finding current flowing through or voltage across the different elements of the circuit. This analysis of electrical circuit can be done by different ways. Out of that, it has a direct analysis. In that, we can find current and voltage directly by applying different techniques. And in case of reduction technique, you can use KVL, KCL or star delta transformation or different theorems to find out the current flowing through or voltage across a particular element. Now let us see active elements. An active element is an electronic component which supplies energy to a circuit. Active elements have the ability to electrical control electron flow. That means the flow of charge. The circuit or the element which supplies energy to that particular circuit is called as the active element. For example, voltage source and current source are the active elements of the circuit. Now passive element. And passive element is an electronic component which can only receive energy which it can either dissipate, absorb or store in an electrical field or a magnetic field. Means a passive element cannot provide energy or cannot supply energy. It can only receive the energy in the form of dissipate, and this energy either dissipate, absorb or stored. So passive elements do not need any form of electrical power to operate. So examples of passive elements are resistors, inductors and capacitors. Then classification of circuits or network. These networks are classified into different types according to different conditions. So first it is classified into active circuit and passive circuits. So the active circuit are those circuit which contains at least one or more energy source such as voltage or current source along with the other element. So this is called as the active circuit. Passive circuit contains only circuit element without energy source. That means it is only contains resistances, inductances and capacitances in that circuit. In another way, networks are classified into bilateral and unilateral circuits. So in bilateral circuit, the property of a circuit does not change with the change of direction of supply voltage or current. In other words, bilateral circuit allows the current to flow in both directions. The best example for bilateral circuit is transmission line. In that transmission line, when you can supply voltage at any point, or you can get output from any point, these are not changed by the change in direction of supply or current. In unilateral circuit, the property of circuit changes with the change of direction of supply voltage or current. In other words, unilateral circuit allows the current to flow only one direction. So example for unilateral circuit which having a diode rectifier. So diode rectifier cannot operate when the direction of current or voltage is changed. So that means it is reverse bias. So this is all about the bilateral and unilateral. So next classification is linear circuit and non-linear circuit. So a linear circuit is an electric circuit in which circuit parameters, that means resistance, inductance, capacitance or frequency, are constant. Means a circuit whose parameters are not changed with respect to change in voltage and current. Such a circuit is called as the linear circuit. So in that linear circuit, a relation between voltage and current is a straight line. Non-linear circuit. A non-linear circuit is an electric circuit whose parameters are varied with respect to current and voltage. If you change the amplitude of current and voltage, so the characteristic or value of the parameters will get changed. So in other words, an electric circuit in which circuit parameters, that means resistance, inductance, capacitance, waveform and frequency, is not constant. So such a circuit is called as the non-linear circuit. So VI characteristics, that means relation between voltage and current for this non-linear circuit is not a straight line. For example, diode and thermistors are of the examples of non-linear circuits. Then again these networks are classified as lump circuit and distributed circuit. So circuit which represents physically separated elements such as resistance, inductance and capacitance. Such a circuit is called as the lump circuit. Means if you have a circuit having the RLC components and you can physically separate that R or L or C, then such a network is called as the lump circuit or lump network. Distributed circuit, a circuit in which the elements like resistance, inductance and capacitance cannot be separated electrically and isolated individually as a separate element. Such a circuit is called as the distributed circuit. For example, long transmission line. If you study this long transmission line in electrical, then this long transmission line circuit consists of resistance, inductance and capacitance, but you cannot separate that resistance, inductance and capacitance physically. So such a network is called as the distributed network. So this is all about the classification of networks. Then we will see some terminologies related to DC circuits or any circuits. So first is the nodes. The nodes is the point through which an circuit element is connected to the circuit is called node. In other words, the point where three or more than three branches are meeting. So in this diagram, this node of showing green color, at that point there are R1, R2 and R3. These branches are meeting. When there is a 3 or more than 3 branches are meeting, such a point is called as the node. Again, this is in this point R3, R4 and R5 are meeting, so it is a node. Then branches. It is a portion of circuit which is connected by two nodes or junction or terminals by an element. So it is called as the branch. So in that, this orange color gives a branch, that means it connects these two nodes. So it is form a branch. So R3 is the branch. Then loop. It is the path which is originates at a particular node and terminates on the same node, traveling through a various nodes of a circuit is called as the loop. So in that diagram, the violet color shows the loop. It means it originates at this node which travels through R5, R6, R7, then this node, then R4, and it terminates at this same node. So this forms a loop. So such a closed path is called as the loop. Then mesh. Mesh is also a closed path similar to loop but does not contain other loops. So if you can see this diagram, so here this whole is one loop, then by containing these two circuits is second loop, and this is the third loop. In that, this single individual loop is called as the mesh, and these all other are the loops. So that means loop can contain the mesh but mesh cannot contain the loop. So this individual single closed path is called as the mesh. Then let us see electrical sources. The electrical sources are divided into two types, voltage source and current source. Again, this voltage source and current source are divided into ideal voltage source, practical voltage source, ideal current source and practical current source. So we will see step by step what is the ideal voltage source and practical voltage source, and what is the ideal current source and a practical current source. So ideal voltage source. A voltage source is a two-terminal device whose voltage at any instant of time is constant and is independent of the current drawn from it and have a zero internal resistance. So see figure A, which having an ideal voltage source, and if we can measure this terminal voltage at between points A and B, so it is observed that whatever current is drawn, the terminal voltage VAB is constant. So that means whatever current is drawn, this ideal voltage, so for ideal voltage source, this VAB is constant. Because of that, the internal resistance of this ideal voltage source is zero. So such a source is called as the ideal voltage source. Then practical voltage source. Sources having some amount of internal resistances are known as practical voltage source, and due to this internal resistance, voltage drop take place and it causes the terminal voltage to reduce. So see here, it is a practical voltage source which having an internal resistance, and due to this internal resistance, the voltage between point A and B is not constant. It will get reduced as current is increases. So see here, the voltage will get dropped. If you can compare this ideal voltage source and practical voltage source, so you will find this in case of ideal voltage source, voltage is constant, but in case of practical voltage source, it is not constant. It will get reduced as the current increases. So this is all about the voltage sources. We will see current sources. So similarly, in ideal current source, it's a two-terminal circuit element which supplies the same current to any load resistance connected across its terminal. It is important to keep in mind that the current supplied by the current source is independent of the voltage of the source terminal. So see figure C, if you have an ideal current source, and if and if we apply the voltage between the points, so it is observed that as voltage increases or maybe decreases, the current of that voltage source is constant. So such a source is called as the ideal voltage source. In a practical current source, there is the resistance in parallel with that practical voltage source, current source. So in that case, as voltage increases, the current is decreases. It is not constant. So by comparing this ideal current source and ideal practical current source, in ideal current source, current is constant with respect to voltage, but in practical current source, current is reduced as voltage increases. So this is all about the ideal current source and practical current source. Thank you.